Hello everybody, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm so glad you guys could join me for tonight's YouTube premiere. I have got an over-the-top wow project for you tonight. I'm telling you, this one is incredible. Are you ready? I've got a gift box that holds greeting cards. Look at this gift box. It is so pretty. I mean, it's like a gift, right? So let me show you. We've got a little locking mechanism here. It's almost like a diary. You guys remember your old diaries with the locks on them? So you unlock, and inside you can see I've got a box full of cards. I have a little pocket here that's going to hold my postage stamps. The envelopes are in there as well. So it's a perfect gift. Look at this. That just locks right back down. Isn't it pretty? Oh, I'm so excited to teach you guys how to create this. Now, I do need to tell you, there's lots going on with this project. We've got a cover, we've got a lock, we've got a band, we've got a box, we've got all kinds of things going. So there's a lot to share with you tonight, but I still want to chat with you. So we are live right now. If it is September 25th, 2019 at 7 p.m. Central Time. That means you're on with the premiere. I am live right now over in the chat box. There's a chat box there, and I would love to chat with you during the premiere tonight. This is such a highlight for me. It's so much fun just to be able to interact with you, hear what you like, what you're up to, what you've been stamping, what your new favorite things are from maybe the holiday catalog, things like that. Now, a trick, you've got to be logged into your YouTube account to chat. Otherwise, I guess YouTube doesn't know who you are. So make sure while we're waiting for everyone to get on that you take a moment to make sure you're logged into your YouTube account. Now, if you've already logged in, you're all ready to go. Hopefully you've got a beverage and you're all ready for the fun tonight. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, it's going to take like 2 seconds tops. There's a great big red subscribe button that you can click, and you can get subscribed to my channel, and then YouTube will let you know whenever I have a new video. But there's also a bell. I love it when you ring the bell because that means YouTube's going to send you a little ding and let you know when I'm on live. And I love that little bell, so be sure to click that bell. All right, like I said, we've got a lot going on tonight. Are you ready to learn how to create this gorgeous box? I'm telling you, it is beautiful. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna be using one suite from the catalog. I'm ready to share it with you, so I say we head over to the stamping table and get busy. All right, let's talk about the suite we're going to focus on for today's project. It is the Perennial Essence Suite. This is on page 107 of the new annual catalog. And what I love about this one is I want you to pay attention right here. So you notice there is an item number for $68. By the way, this is USA. And what that one item number will do, it will order everything that comes in this suite. So this will include the stamp set, the punch, the designer series paper, the vellum, the ribbon, and these cute little floral centers. Everything in this suite. And today's project is going to use everything in the suite. So I wanted you to notice that little number. Now, let's talk about all of these wonderful things. Here we go. The stamp set is Floral Essence, a great one. I love florals, but I gotta point out this one right here. It looks a little weird, am I right? Okay, well that's because it comes with a matching punch and it's meant for you to layer. So it's supposed to look a little odd because we're gonna be able to layer those petals together. Obviously, we've got some great stamps and 3 sentiments in this one. Let's move on to the designer series paper. The designer series paper is absolutely gorgeous. What do you think of these great hand-painted papers? So pretty. Let me go ahead and show you the other side as well because the opposite side of the papers are also quite lovely. Look at that one. I think that's one I'm going to use a lot. And then another great hand-painted floral. If you're a fan of vellum, you're going to love this vellum cardstock. It's going to come, you're going to get 4 sheets of each in the package. They come in petal pink, old olive, and so saffron. You'll get all of those We're also going to use the petal pink organdy ribbon. Guys, this is a real pretty one, very easy to tie, and it really does add a great softness. And then here are those little floral centers. Let me show you these. Oh my goodness, I want to zoom in because I want you to see. They're so realistic. They're also very lightweight. And they're also very flat. Can you see? They're not terribly high, so it's going to make them nice and easy to mail your cards. Oh, and did you notice there's adhesive already on the back, so that makes them super easy to work with. So first I want to concentrate on creating the box itself. You're going to need 2 sheets of Blackberry Bliss 8.5 by 11. 1 sheet of the Floral Essence Designer Series paper. You've got 6 to choose from. Actually, I take that back. You really have 12 to choose from because they're double-sided. We're going to need 3 pieces of the vellum. I've got, again, the Old Olive, So Saffron, and Petal Pink. These are cut 1 3/4 by 6 inches. Now, when you're working with vellum, it's a little difficult to get ink to dry. So we actually want to start with our stamping so we can set this aside to dry while we put our gift box together. I'm going to take that 3-petal flower and I'm going to stamp this 4 times on our vellum. You'll stamp the first one and then I want you to notice I'm going to rotate. And so I've kind of flipped it around. That's what's going to help me get all of my petals on here, just like that. Now we're going to repeat that with our remaining 2 pieces of vellum. Okay, as I said, I want to set these aside to dry. All right, we're about to get into all the cutting and scoring. Now, you guys know I like to keep it easy. I like to keep things simple, but I do need to let you know this is a detailed project. It absolutely, positively needed a written tutorial. There's a lot of things going on here. So in the tutorial, I just wanted to show you, there's diagrams, there's measurements, all your score lines. Everything on how I do all my cutting and scoring is all there in the tutorial. Now, you can get it all. I have it all for you here in the video. It's coming. But I did want you to know, if you find it a little overwhelming, I highly recommend that you take a moment to get the tutorial. I always love to give you an opportunity to earn the tutorial for free. So stay tuned till the end of the video and I'll let you know how you can get that one for free. All right, are you ready to get started? Now you know everything you need. It's time to get busy cutting and creating. Let's go. So let's begin cutting on our first piece of our Blackberry Bliss. Now first we're going to create the cover and we want to cut this down to 6.5 by 10 5/8. We'll have a little scrap left over. We're done with that. Now I want to score this piece of cardstock. We're going to score this one at 4 3/4 on one side and then we're going to rotate it around and score at 4 3/4 on the other side. With my 2-inch piece that's left over, let's cut this down to 6.5 inches. There we go. And we're going to score this one at 2 1/4 and 3 3/8. Lots of cutting and scoring, right? Okay, let's take that remaining little piece that we had. We want to cut this down to 3/4 by 3 1/2. And that's going to create the locking mechanism for our little gift box. I'm going to set these off to the side so I can bring in my remaining piece of Blackberry Bliss. We're going to cut this down to 8.5 by 4 1/2 and score at 2 1/4 inch. So you see, whoops, that's going to fold up like that. That'll be our pocket. And remaining, I have a 6.5 by 8.5. Guys, we need to cut off 1/2 inch because this has to be 8 inches by 6.5 inches. That's really important, trust me. All right, we are going to take this piece and we're going to score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. And this is going to create the box that will hold the cards. And now we're going to cut our designer series paper. So guys, we need to cut this down to 6 1/4 by 12. I want to set this off to the side. We'll be cutting some more on this. So this is my 6 1/4 by 12. We now need to cut this down 6 1/4 by 10 1/4. That's going to leave me 6 1/4 by 1 3/4, and that's going to be used for our band. So here's our cover, here's our band. And now for the inside pocket, we want to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So that one is all ready to go. You're going to have some left over. Don't worry, you'll be able to use that one on your cards. We'll come in with our corner rounder on our cover of our little booklet here, our little gift box booklet. Not exactly sure what to call it. It's kind of a little bit of everything. I just call it a little bit of awesome. All right, I've corner round all my ends, all my corners. All right, now we're going to come in with our cover and we want to adhere this down, but we do have to get a little creative because we're going to get a buckle in here. All right, so let me show you my little tips for adhering this down. We're going to be using a lot of multi-purpose glue today, but for the sake of the video, can I use a snail for this one? It's just going to make it a little bit quicker and easier for me. I'm going to adhere this down, and you notice I'm just putting some adhesive. I probably should have gotten a little closer to the edge, but I'm not going all the way around. So just kind of keeping it a little bit simple, because what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this. Let me center it up. All right, there we go. So that is in place. Now, I'm just going to give this a gentle fold. I don't want to give it a hard crease, just kind of a nice little gentle fold. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And again, you may be wondering why. If we were to just lay this flat, this would get this nasty little buckle. It would not be pretty. Fold. Now I can adhere the opposite side. And I'm going to put just a little bit on the spine. I don't want to go crazy on that spine because it does need to have just a little bit of flexibility. So I'm going to line up my spine, bring over the other end of my cover, and there we go. You see, no buckling. Works great. All right, let me set this off to the side and we're going to work on the band. We're going to corner round our band as well. And I'll crease that with my bone folder. Now let's bring in the designer series paper. But you notice we need to corner round. That does not look good. So let's give these corners a round as well. All right, this longer area here, this is the 3 1/8 inch side. That's the part that's going to show. So there, if there's an end of your band that you want to show, let's put it on that larger area. You remember how I just adhered my cover? We're going to do the exact same thing here. So a little bit of adhesive, give these a fold just like we did before. That's going to keep them from buckling. And now we'll adhere on the opposite side. I'm going to bring my cover in and we're going to take this band and we're going to adhere it to the inside. This shorter end, I'm going to come in with my multi-purpose glue. And yes, on the DSP side, let's add our multi-purpose glue and we're going to adhere that down right here on the inside. Let me flip that over so you can see. You see that comes right to that edge. We're going to give that a nice little back rub. Now let's add our pocket. And to do that, we're also going to bring in our corner rounder. But guys, I want you to notice we only need the left side. So we will take the left side here, this one down here. You're going to keep it folded. You'll put that in and we'll give that one a punch. And then we will adhere this, center it up in this panel. Now, one of the reasons I do prefer to add the pocket, it's also going to add stability. Remember, we're going to have a box here, so this end's going to be nice and sturdy. We want this to have a really good box feel. Now, we're going to adhere this with the multi-purpose glue. Another reason I love to work with multi-purpose glue is it gives me the ability to move this around if I needed to. So yes, you see my little corner rounds there. Now to create the pocket, very simple. Just a thin bead of glue here on both ends. This pocket is going to be used for my stamps. Oh no, but I haven't put my piece of designer series paper on. Please ignore the glue there. I got ahead of myself. Let's take that piece of designer series paper. We're going to corner around one corner. Sorry about that, guys. Just like I said, got a little ahead of myself. We'll add that there. I'm gonna just touch up my glue in case it dried, but it looks like it's still wet. All right, now we'll adhere that down. Whoopsie. All right, now it's happy. All right, so we've got our little pocket right there. Now let's work on the box. This is the box that's going to hold the cards. Now you're going to notice we have 4 squares in each corner, and I'm going to cut right across that score line, right on top of it. So you can see I'm just going to that little cross score line, and then I'm going to miter. I'm going to go from the inside of the square to the outside. The only thing you should be cutting on is that square. If you're cutting on anything else, please stop. We don't want your box messed up. All right, we'll cut again. You see right along the score line. Let's repeat that on all sides. There we go. You see everything's nice and mitered. Okay, we're going to come in with our bone folder. And guys, with this being a box, I really do recommend you use the bone folder because it gives such a nice crisp crease. You know, it's not a soft edge. It's a really nice crisp edge. We're going to make sure we, crease down our tabs. Make sure you get those too. All right, we're going to come back in with that multi-purpose glue. And I want to get right up to that score line. Now, you notice I keep the tip of my bottle flat with the cardstock. I don't want it to glop out. I want to keep my glue at a minimum. And you know, it's just one of those less is more. So we're going to repeat that on all 4 tabs. Again, just a reminder, stay real close to that scored line. Now, if you're not a fan of the multi-purpose glue, you can also use tear and tape. And you can put tear and tape here and then down here at the bottom. So don't feel like you have to use the glue. Tear and tape works as well. Now, to put the box together, we're just going to line up the corners like so. Give it a press. You know, a little while ago, I mentioned why I like to use multi-purpose glue. It does give me the opportunity that I can kind of slide. I get to slide that cardstock in there, make sure I'm getting it all set. All right, let's give these a really good press. And now we're ready to adhere this inside our little gift box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here in the center, and I'm going to adhere my box down to the spine. And I'm just going to add my multi-purpose glue here to the side of the box. What I'm going to do is I'm laying my box, getting it centered, top and bottom and side, and I'm just going to bring this spine up. Now I can flip it over, and that's going to ensure this is going to lay flat. Now we can add glue to the box on this side. And we'll just bring that together. I like to come in with a clear block. And this just allows me to get in here and give that a really good press. It's just, you know what, my blocks are sitting there anyway, so it kind of just helps to give that nice pressure. All right, so now we need to add our lock to the front of our box, but isn't it looking great? All right, let's bring in that little lock. We're gonna come back in with our corner rounder, and this one's a little more, it might be a little more difficult to see, but trust me, you'll slide it in there, you'll feel that it's right where it needs to be. You can see we get a nice little rounded edge. Everything else on our box has a rounded edge, and I just think the lock looks better that way. Now, if you notice maybe a little rough edge, it didn't line up perfectly, I like to use a nail sanding block and just kind of sand out if there's any little edges that maybe didn't get as perfectly rounded as you'd like. You can also use a nail file. I just happen to have this little sanding block. It works really well. We're going to add this right here. We need to do that with Stampin' Dimensionals. We need a little bit of height for this so that the lock can come down. So we're going to put Stampin' Dimensional on each side. Kind of get yourself lined up. Make sure your band is where you want it. All right, there we go. Let me unlock it here for a second so I can give that a good press. And you see how easy it is to close that up. All right, now we got to decorate it because that's a little dull. We're going to come back in with those petals. Remember when we did those a little while ago? Now, they may still be wet. Remember, it's vellum. It's not the same as a regular cardstock, so that ink may not want to dry. I got a piece of grid paper here. I flipped it upside down, and I'm going to give it a little back rub. And what this is going to do, let me show you. Oh, well, it really didn't, which is good. That means it's drying well. But what I'm doing is removing any excess ink that may be still wet. But there we go. Do you see how a little bit of that ink is kind of pulling off there? So we'll get all 3 of these. And now we'll come in with the punch. And we can line those up in the punch like so. So you can get the 2 going that way. Now we can flip it around. We can get the 2 going the other way. Now we'll do the So Saffron and the Old Olive. Now, are you saying to yourself, I have never seen a green flower, Connie, not pretty? Well, guess what? It's not going to be a flower. These are actually going to be the leaves on our flower. This is where we're going to use our mini glue dots. So I'm going to take a petal and I'm going to press it onto a mini glue dot. I'm going to bring in my next one. And here's where I want you to see how the pretty layers. Now you see why we said we wanted it to layer. Let's repeat that with our next one. And we'll do the same with the So Saffron. So we'll have 4 flowers when we're all done. Now we want to adhere these together. So I'm going to grab one of my sets of flowers, press a glue dot in the middle, and we're going to lay these just off center. And it's going to give us a really nice full flower. Do you see that? And we'll do the same thing here with the So Saffron. Now for our leaves, we're going to use 2 on each flower. I'm going to put a glue dot on one petal, okay? Now, I'm just going to add this to the back. See, so pretty, right? So there's one. Repeat that. And you notice, I do want to point out that the glue dot is on the pretty side. Now we can repeat that and add another set of petals right there. Let's do the same thing with our So Saffron. All right, our flowers are done. We're going to bring our box back in. I have 9 inches of that petal pink organdy ribbon. Isn't that going to be so pretty? We're going to attach that right here onto the lock, okay? So we're going to be adhering right here. And guys, I think mini glue dots are going to be the key here. So I'm going to fold my ribbon and let's press a mini glue dot here and then onto the lock. Press a glue dot on the inside and add the other end. All right, that's down. So we're going to come in with the petal pink flower. You're going to want to kind of eyeball where you want your flower to go. I think I like that right there, and I can see my petals, all right? I've kind of kept them in a straight line, so that kind of helps me to know where I need my mini glue dots. I'm going to add several, all right? So I'm going to start here and another one there. So I've got 4 in a row there, and that's going to help me know. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this so I can give all those glue dots a good press. I'm going to take these petals that are on top and I'm going to give them a little bend. Vellum is very forgiving, but you can see we can kind of give a nice little bend to just my top 2 layers. But see the nice little fluff that gives? Now we come in with one of those adhesive back centers. Look at that. The adhesive's already on there. Watch what happens to my flower when I add that. Oh my gosh, isn't it beautiful? Okay, give that a good press. Now, this remaining flower, it's going to go on the inside. And this one, I'm just adding glue dots all the way around, definitely getting all of the petals. And then I think I'll get a couple here in the middle as well. I like it because all you have to do is just press and lift. So we've got plenty of adhesive on there. We're going to add this flower right here to the inside. We're going to give the petals a bend just like we did before, and then add our pretty little center. I wanted to add just a little tag to this. So I'm going to take my Blackberry Bliss ink pad, And I have the stamp set Itty Bitty Greetings. And one of the greetings in this is Sent with Love, which I thought was perfect for these cards. I'm just going to stamp that there on my scrap Whisper White. Then I'm going to take my classic label punch. I'm going to put my sentiment down here at the right side. I'll press it onto a mini glue dot. And then I'm just going to tuck that right underneath. There we go. Now it's a little Sent with Love. Now for the inside, we're going to take our postage stamps. Those will slide right there in the pocket. I created some simple cards using that same designer series paper. Again, we want the envelopes too. They are going to go right here in the box. Guys, I've got about 6 here. I think I could easily fit about 8 with no problem. There's my card. So I've got a really lovely little gift. My little lock goes under. There we go. What a fabulous gift for this holiday, don't you think? I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Oh, it was such a fun project to make. And yes, it is a little more time consuming, but guys, this is a gift. This is something that you're going to give. And boy, you talk about a gift from the heart. Once you've created one, I promise you, once you've created one, making the next one, the next one's going to be easy peasy double cheesy. All right. And like I said, the cards that go inside, get creative with your own cards. But if you get the tutorial, I'll have a set of cards that match the Floral Essence Designer Series paper. So let me tell you a little bit more about that tutorial. As I mentioned, there's diagrams, all the measurements. I really spell things out. There's written directions, there's photographs, everything that you need so that you can recreate the project. Now, I did tell you there was a way that you could get it for free, and here's what you can do. If you'll head over to simplysimplestamping.com, and if you'll use this host code and this item number on your order, I'm going to send you the tutorial for free. Guys, that item number is going to get you everything that came in that suite. Do you remember? The stamp set, the punch, the designer series paper, the vellum, the ribbon, and the floral centers. This item number covers it all. So you can just head over to Simply Simple Stamping, click the online order button, use this item number, use this host code on your order. You're going to get the tutorial for free. Now, let me pause for just a second. What if you go, Connie, I already have that stamp set, or I already have the punch or the designer series paper. Maybe you don't need everything that came in that suite bundle. Not a problem. If you'll use this same host code on your order of $50 or more, you're also going to get the tutorial. So I hope that you guys will head over there and check it out. Be sure to use this host code. It is very important. It's kind of the only way I can tell that you're wanting this tutorial. Now, I know I have friends who are outside of the United States, and unfortunately, I am only able to sell within the United States. But I haven't forgotten about you. If you will look up in the blue menu bar there at simplysimplestamping.com and look for tutorials, you can order the tutorial there as well. I want everyone to have the opportunity to create this great project. So maybe you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, maybe you're outside the United States, just check out my tutorials and you can order it right there. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. I had such a great time chatting with you tonight. Thank you for joining in. That's always so much fun. But if you are joining me on a replay, it's after September 25th and after 7 p.m. Central Time. I still love to hear from you. You can still leave comments here on the video there with YouTube, and I'll be happy to get back to you because I love hearing your comments. Now listen, if you enjoyed today's video, and goodness gracious, I hope you did because I thought it was just so beautiful. If you did, I'd love a thumbs up from you right there on YouTube. That is so appreciated. And if you have not already subscribed, there's a great big red subscribe button just waiting for you to click. Click that and YouTube will let you know whenever I have a new video. And if you'll take a moment to ring that bell as well, YouTube will give you a notification when my next premiere is coming up. Speaking of my next premiere, I hope you'll make plans to join me on October 9th. That's when my next YouTube premiere will be here and live, and we can chat again. So mark your calendars for that. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you again. Okay, everybody, thank you all so much for being here. I sure do appreciate you tuning in. I hope you guys have a marvelous evening. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.